Massive destructive moves in the silver and gold market yesterday. But today we're going to talk about $90 silver. But even more importantly, we're going to talk about why those big moves yesterday may have been a big, huge mistake by Mr. Market. We're going to talk about why gold and silver got pummeled so badly yesterday, but more importantly, why it was likely all an overreaction and a big, big mistake. But first, and we are going to talk about $90 silver. I'm going to hold that one out for you guys a little bit. But first, let's talk about what's happening today. We're going to hear today's Fed Day. Remember when the Federal Reserve would announce their monetary policy decision? That would always be the biggest news in the history of the universe. Well, we're having that again today. What a crazy, crazy week. Likely the Fed will be cutting interest rates. Likely the Fed will be doing all kinds of crazy stuff in the coming quarters and years. We're going to talk about that, but let's go take a look and see what the markets are predicting for the Fed rate cut today. Let's go out to the CME FedWatch tool, guys. This is where you can see what the Fed is going to do or what the betting odds, the big money. So next FOMC meeting, right? 4 hours from now, 4 hours and 46 minutes. They got this cute little, it's like the debt clock in reverse. This one counts down. This is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange FedWatch tool. And okay, we've got a 99.2% chance that they're going to cut rates by a quarter point. 25 basis points, if we want to sound sophisticated, and a almost 1% chance that they won't do anything. Now, look, if the Fed doesn't do anything this afternoon, that will send shockwaves, negative shockwaves through the gold and silver market. But I think it's pretty much a sure thing. We're going to get a quarter percentage point cut. But you know what? The way things are in the world right now, we won't rule anything out, right? Basement dwellers, we want to be prepared for anything. Hey, thank you for being here. Thanks for joining me here in the basement. It's a big deal. You're important, right? This is not possible without you. If it wasn't for you and your participation, your intelligence, your help, your being a part of the basement, this would not be happening. So thank you. Please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Super chat, super thanks, PayPal donations are never expected. I mixed that up the other day. I think I said are always expected, but never appreciated, but they're never expected and always appreciated. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The big news, Donald Trump got elected. Silver and gold got absolutely clobbered. Hold on, I made a mistake. I apologize. I need to go back. Let's just recap. Today's the big Fed day, right? Buckle up, Buttercup. But even more important, right? Probably later this week, but very soon, we are also going to hear from China about a major stimulus program. Now, not a lot of people are talking about this, but the smart people, including you, right, know that China was waiting to see what happened in the election before they made their decision on what kind of stimulus program. Why is that important for gold and silver? Because what China does is China stimulates hugely, which they likely will, that will create massive demand for silver and gold. So we have that to look forward to as well. Here in the next few days, we should be, that could be very bullish for the price of precious metals. You know what? Before we go there, has the price of silver been manipulated yet lately? Or let's say that a different way. The price of silver has been manipulated lately. Let's go out and see what our favorite investigator, Columbo, wasn't there a TV show called Columbo, like a private investigator? Well, now us silver investors, we have Jesse Columbo. This guy is working tirelessly, pointing out what he thinks could very potentially be manipulation within the silver market. Let's go out and look at his most recent post, and it is, again, astonishing. The evidence is piling up. There he is, Mr. Columbo. Jesse Columbo from the Bubble Report. And on a serious note, this guy is considered to be a big rising star within the gold and silver sector. He has a Substack. I think it's called the Bubble or the Bubble Report. Anyway, he says silver was slammed in 10 out of the past 13 trading sessions. We know that, right, my fellow basement dwellers? Always in the morning, always to the downside. People are trying to gaslight me into believing that's perfectly normal and organic behavior. I'm actually the one who's just imagining things. And look at this chart, right? This is updated as of yesterday. If it's not market manipulation, then why are these sharp moves always, almost always, to the downside and occur right when the COMEX is starting to open from 8:30 to 11 a.m. Eastern time? Look at these. Okay, we pointed this out yesterday, but guys, this is consistent behavior when the COMEX opens down, 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 avalanche yesterday. So we know that JP Morgan has been convicted of manipulating the silver price. We know, right? We know that there's been massive amounts of research done to prove that the silver price has been manipulated over the years. And Jesse Colombo's on the case. Colombo's on the case now to help us remember that it's still happening today, still happening right now. Okay, so let's talk about the big mistake, why everybody's mistaken about President Trump being elected and then absolutely pummeling the gold and silver. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of reasons that we're going to go through why the market is very likely wrong. Okay, I'm not saying anything political. This is not a political channel. We're looking at the facts. Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. Donald Trump has laid out some pretty aggressive ideas about what he's going to do. The silver market and the gold market got pummeled yesterday on the backs of that. Now let's talk about, there's a lot to talk about and why it's a mistake. But let's briefly talk about the big reasons yesterday. There's three big reasons that I'm hearing. Number one, there's this lessening of fear about domestic violence, domestic issues in the United States because of a disputed election. Fears of social unrest, all that. That pretty much all went away because it was a pretty clear victory by Donald Trump. Secondly, what hurt the silver and gold price yesterday was this idea that geopolitical turmoil, situation in Ukraine, situation in Israel, situation with China, situation with North Korea, that President Trump will be able to lessen the amount of geopolitical turmoil and uncertainty. So those premiums, those price, the amount of the gold price that was reflecting that kind of got sucked out yesterday. And of course that hurt silver as well. But think about it. Silver, let me get back on track. The third reason is inflation. People, and that's the big one, guys. That's that. We are in for a fun ride in the precious metals. And bear with me on this live stream, because we're going to talk about why we're in such a favorable position for precious metals. But the market thinks that Trump's policies could be very inflationary. And then, so because of that, they think that the Federal Reserve will be forced to raise interest rates. That can't happen. And I'm going to show you why in this video. But first, let's go check on the gold and silver price. Let's have a little post-mortem. We'll go at the channel sponsor, Pimbex, and this is not updated. So yesterday when I left you, gold was down $70. Silver down $1.27. Let's do an update and see how we are hanging this morning. Oh my gosh. Gold up $27. Silver up 50 cents. We love you, Pimbex. Thank you. But what we really love about Pimbex is that if you, as a basement dweller, want to get silver, gold, platinum group metals, you don't want to mess around spending countless hours searching for good prices, searching for a company you can trust, trying to put it all together. There's one company that really does check all the boxes in my book, right? You need to figure this out for yourself. I'll never tell you what to do, okay? And by the way, if you call the guys at Pimbex and talk to them, they aren't going to give you any pressure either. They actually say to me all the time, people need to stack responsibly. I have so much respect for that and many other things about this company, which is why I feel so good telling you they do check all the boxes. Ultra competitive prices. Let me look you in the eye when I say this. Hope I don't screw this up. Ultra competitive prices, right? A great selection. Unless you're looking for some obscure type silver, Darth Vader, Raiders of the Lost Ark, so whatever. If you want mainstream silver products, gold products, right? If you want, that's a great selection. Their prices, right, are pretty much very hard to beat. Ultra competitive prices. But most importantly, guys, you want to work with a company you can trust, right? You hear these horror stories of people buying silver and gold from, let's say, unreliable sources, sometimes like the online auction sites. I'm not going to name any names, but you want to work with a company you can trust. And, if you trust me, I'll tell you, I trust Pimbex unconditionally, right? If you want to hear from other people, read other people's reviews. Thank you, Pimbex, right, for being such a great sponsor and a great company for me to represent to our basement dweller community, because I get emails all the time from you guys telling me thank you. Overwhelmingly positive response. And I can look you in the eye and tell you that's the absolute truth. Okay. All right, let's go here. So what was yesterday? The other thing we need to remember, part of it was profit taking, okay? Getting rid of the weak hands, the people who are the nervous Nellies. Silver got clobbered yesterday. Like we just saw, silver's doing a little better. Are you feeling it? Take a deep breath, okay? We're going to talk about $90 silver. Don't you worry, Buttercup. I won't call you Buttercup again, basement dweller. Okay, but are you feeling a little better? Yesterday, those were the weaklings. Imagine if, well, I'm not going to put anybody down, but look, these were the weak hands. Maybe the traders, maybe the people that were in gold because they wanted that insurance policy about what was going to happen with the election, blah, blah, blah. If we get rid of all them, this is the good news. Now we can move forward. If all the softies, or whatever you want to call them, the non-long-term holders of silver, when you buy silver, do you think about selling it? I don't ever. People ask me, how do I sell silver? What's the best? I'm not the guy to ask about for selling silver because I have never sold any silver and I really don't ever plan on it. To me, it's generational, right? They'll probably dump it all in the coffin with me when I go, but nonetheless, don't come to me asking about the best way. What I will tell you if you ever want to sell silver is this: shop around, just like you would if you're going to buy silver and gold. Right? If you're going to buy it, you shop around, right? I go to Pimbex and I still compare prices otherwise, and I'm always impressed with Pimbex. But if I was going to sell, if you're going to sell, shop around as well. I apologize. I'm getting a little off track this morning. There was profit-taking short-term flippers. This is interesting. And I saw Rafi Farber pointed this out this morning, and I thought it was brilliant, something we didn't think about. He said, Gold was not really slammed yesterday. All the commodities were, and I'm not quoting him here. I think this is my own words. Because the gold, if you look at all the commodities got killed yesterday, it wasn't just gold. If you look at this, let's go take a look at this. Right? We think, oh, gold, silver got slaughtered yesterday, and they did. Right? It was not a good day in the market. But this is the Invesco DB Commodity Index Tracking Fund, called DBC. That's how you get this quote. This was yesterday, okay? This is yesterday, right? 11/6. Yes. Look how far it really crashed. It was down, like 1% on the day, but at one point it was way down. So it wasn't just gold. It wasn't just silver. I know it feels like we were the only people. The stock market went up 3 or 4%, right? Gold and silver and the mining stocks got clobbered. It feels like we were the only people that weren't making a ton of money yesterday. Maybe you were, right? I'm heavily invested in metals and the mining stocks. So yesterday was kind of like a good day and a bad day all wrapped up in one, but it wasn't just gold and silver. So gold and silver didn't crash when compared to the overall commodity sector. And that's very, very important to remember because, guys, the reason why is we are moving into a commodity super cycle. Wheat, oil, gold, silver, right? All Stanley Druckenmiller. What's the guy's name? Darn it, the guy from Double Line Capital, Jeffrey Gunlock. Anybody, Warren Buffett will tell you off the record, right? We are moving into a commodity super cycle, which will be very bullish for the price of silver and gold. Let's get this going, basement dwellers. We got a lot to be optimistic about. A lot to be optimistic about, okay? There's that chart. I got some. Do you really think, okay? Let me talk about silver. This is critical to remember. Do you really think Trump being elected should have killed the silver price? Think about it. Donald Trump got elected president. Silver went down 5%. How do those two really relate? Right now, there's all types of things we can talk about. The dollar went up, whatever. But really, Donald Trump got elected president. Silver went down 5%. What's the reason why you buy silver, right? It's a monetary metal and it's an industrial metal, right? You know the overwhelming. Do you really think they're going to stop using silver in these new Samsung car batteries that are going to take 30 ounces each, these solid state batteries? The Toyota will be soon rolling out in their Lexus brand. My dad's got a Lexus. I have a Toyota anyway. Look, no. Do you really think that since Trump got elected, suddenly the silver deficit is going to go away? No. Right. So we got to look at the big picture. We got to look at the big picture of what's going on. Okay. The other part, okay, do you really think that all the geopolitical turmoil is going to go immediately away? Do you think the BRICS are going to go away because Trump got elected? In their move towards de-dollarization? No. Okay. They're not just going to abandon the BRICS movement. They're not going to abandon the de-dollarization movement because, guys, the big picture, the big thing, this is so critical that we remember this, that is going to drive, it's going to make you a zillionaire. You want to be a zillionaire? That's a silver millionaire. Is going to be inflation. Right? Capital I, inflation. We are going to have inflation like never, ever before. Okay. They just haven't gotten it through their thick skulls yet. And that's all the sheeple. You're not a sheeple, right? You're a basement dweller. You're whatever you want to call yourself. You've got a good brain on your shoulders. You know it's coming, right? Donald Trump, right? Everything that he promises means a worsening to the U.S. national debt, right? Dollar debasement. That's a fact. That's not a political statement. All those promises, all those tax cuts, all the no taxes on this, no taxes on that, that lowers the U.S. government's revenue. That lowers the that makes the deficit bigger. That makes the debt bigger, okay? And that is what's going to happen. And that makes inflation, right? That's the fact. And you know this. Right. And again, I'm going to say it one final time, not a political statement, but you know this. Trump will strong arm the Fed into easy monetary policy because, guys, here's the reality. Okay. Here's the reality. Either they're going to have to save the dollar or save the bond market because the bond market is what subsidizes that massive national debt. They can't do both. Okay. They can't do both. If they save the bond market, they're going to have to print money to do it. Okay. If they want to save the dollar, they want the dollar to remain strong, right? The only thing they can do at that point is have a very tight budget, spending cuts, right? Try to get things under control. They aren't going to do that. But let's just look at Donald Trump's background. Last time he was president, the deficit skyrocketed, the debt skyrocketed. Okay, this is not a political statement. If you look at his history as a businessman, he has a history of borrowing a lot of money and sometimes running into trouble because of that. So that is the fact. That's what we know is absolutely going to happen. People don't realize it yet. But that's the quandary that the United States finds itself in. When Donald Trump got elected in landslide victory, right? Guess what, guys? Let's go look. Let's do our daily field trip. And we're going to talk about $90 silver. I'm going to show you the most beautiful chart. It's going to make your heart warm, right? You're going to be filled with joy and peace and optimism. We're going to get to that later. This did not go away. Sorry. Let's make sure. Let's refresh. Hold on. Okay, refresh. No. Oh my gosh, guys. This did not, the national debt, $36 trillion did not go away. Okay. This is getting worse. Interest expense. Have you looked at the interest rate on a 10-year bond yield right now? That's the other thing that got clobbered yesterday. It wasn't just you as a silver and gold investor. And what does it mean when we have this? Here, let's run out and take a look. 10-year bond yield. Okay, it's dropping a little bit today. But look at this. Look at a 6-month chart of the 10-year bond yield, guys, and it went up massively yesterday. Bonds got sold, which means the rate on the bonds went up and up and up. What that means is the United States, that means mortgage rates go up. That means a lot of bad things for the economy. They can't let that happen. They're going to need to print money. When they print money, the value of the money goes down. When the value of the money goes down, that means we have inflation, and inflation will take on a life of its own and will take on a new meaning. It will be a new perspective, right, that people have regarding gold and silver. This BS yesterday that, oh, well, Donald Trump's going to create inflation, so the Fed's going to have to be, tight with monetary policy. No. It does not work. I wanted to look at this while we're here. Yeah, we are. I mean, look, this is a 5-year chart of interest rates. Let's look at a max. I mean, last time, here we are right here. Last time we were higher than this, where we are right now, was 17 years ago. So he is not going to take care of this. This will get worse, right? That'll make interest get worse, the interest expense, the budget deficit. I mean, if the guy, if he implements half of what he's promised, is going to go through the roof. We are in the spiral, and then at that point, the Fed will need to print money just to save the bond market. They are not going to save the dollar. Let me look you in the eye for that one. This is a critical thing for you to understand. They can't have both. They can't have their cake and eat it too. Okay. Sorry, they're going to have to either save the dollar or save the bond market, and they will print money and save the bond market. That is a almost certainty. And again, that's inflation. But while we're out at the U.S. debt clock, let's do our quick daily check of the dollar to silver ratio. Oh my gosh, Ron, it's at 900. See my yellow cursor there, guys? Dollar to silver ratio, 971. Yes, that means that for each 1 ounce of silver that comes out of the ground this year, somebody in Peru or Mexico or Idaho is digging up an ounce of silver today. For that 1 ounce of silver, your government, if you live in the United States of America, is only printing $971. That's right. Yes, $971. But what we want to do is, as usual, let's update our little, it's not really a spreadsheet. I think it's a Word or a whatever document, 971. Okay, look at those numbers. They continue to go up. Mic drop. 600, almost 700 people. Thank you, guys. Man, we got a lot more to cover. We are going to look at the $90 silver chart because after yesterday, we deserve it. We absolutely do deserve it. Okay, everything Trump promises. Okay, Bubba, we went through that. He'll be strong arming the Fed. Okay. Yesterday, silver, gold, bonds all got sold down. Lower bond prices mean higher debt yields. We talked about that. We can never pay the debt back at higher interest rates, right? Interest rates are going, and again, we've got Jerome Powell and the Fed today supposedly going to cut rates again. They cut rates 6 weeks ago. And since they did that, the interest rate on the 10-year bond yield, which is like the bellwether of the bond market, has gone up by almost a full percent, at least 0.75% or very close to it. Think about that. The Fed is losing control over interest rates. So what they're going to have to do then, the only way they can control it, guys, it's this fancy term, and you can get this. This is critical, called monetizing the debt. Meaning nobody's buying the debt. And when nobody wants to buy our debt, nobody wants to loan us money, the interest rate goes up and up and up. We're seeing that right now. Then the Fed has to step in and say, well, you know what, then buttercups, Brazil, China, India, all you countries that just won't buy our debt anymore, we're going to buy it ourselves. We're going to create more fake unicorn fart dust, paper, fiat, whatever you want to call it, money, and we'll just buy it ourselves. That's what makes it worse. That's why when we talked about the fact that since 1971 through today, the gold price is up like 78 times, not 78%, 78 times, right? Since 1971. And when we look out into the future, given where we are right now from a fiscal perspective, a debt perspective, it is mathematically impossible. Heck, the price of gold could go up 78 times in the next 5 years. Be ready. Be ready. That's what I say. Don't make any financial decisions based on what I'm seeing. But this whole Trump thing and getting really made me angry yesterday that the market, not at Trump, he had nothing to do with it, at the market's reaction, because the market got it wrong. Sure, I understand. I was talking with CoinShop Chris last night. I'm like, well, now it just feels like world peace. Do you think world peace is going to break out? Do you think, right, that the domestic issues in the United States are going to completely go away? No. And I'm telling you, inflation is coming at us at a very, very fast rate. Okay. And remember this. This is interesting. Okay. The stock market exploded higher yesterday, right? 4%, whatever, 5%. Thank you, Jasper. Keep the silver spirit up, dwellers. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Forgot about it. It's hard for me to say everything because I'm not in my normal studio. And thank you to my friend Little Ricky back at the house helping coordinate all this. I appreciate it. Think about this, guys. This is another thing that will get us very excited to be invested in silver and gold. The stock market, Trump is inheriting a stock market that's already at all-time highs. The stock market is in a bubble. Okay, after yesterday, it's in a double bubble. Remember, bubblicious. It's so bubbly from any reasonable metric or measurement. Where the stock market is right now is out of control. Absolutely out of control. That's what Trump's. Now, what does this have to do with silver and gold? I'm going to tell you right now, right? Because when he gets in there, and CoinShop Chris said, I bet they pull the rug on him, the economy. We're headed towards massive trouble in the economy, right? Try to go out to eat. It's ridiculous, right? You can't go to a cheap restaurant with 6 people and get out of there for less than $150 anymore. It's just impossible. I don't know how they do it. Funny, Matt. That's not what the point is. The point is about silver and gold right now, because what's going to happen is when that stock market gets the rug pulled on it, okay, that money is going to be looking for safety and security. And where do you think people are going to turn when they want safety and security? Because the stock market is absolutely, it's whatever statistic, the Warren Buffett indicator. He's selling all of his stocks anyway. We know that. Anything you look at, any metric, any measurement, any ratio, the stock market's in a bubble. Okay. So when that bubble gets burst, people, what are they going to do? Are they going to buy real estate? No. I'm not going to buy real estate. It's in a bubble. Just look at what houses are selling. No, people are going to move to silver and gold, just like this is, the reason why we know that'll happen. I'll tell you why, because it's happening right now, and it's happening in a country with 1.4 billion people, and that's China, right? Their real estate market in the dumps, their stock market in the dumps, right? And those people, they know what inflation is. They know they don't. I talked to my good friend Chen Lin, right? PhD, top medical researcher in the country. Or he works for a top medical research institution in Louis. Chen Lin, he's always like, oh, people don't trust banks in China. The real estate. He's like, it's a mess. Okay, it's a mess, guys, and that same thing could very likely happen here because it is paper. You can't just, I need to get some money, paper money that's floating around. Just envision, right? Paper money, right? In the end, comes out to nothing. Here, let's do a little show and tell. This, if Feels really good to hold in my hand. See that? See how reflective it is? It's real. It's silver. You're probably like me and you love it. It's real money. Get you some, okay? Get you some. We got a lot more to talk about. I'm going to get to the $90 silver, I promise here. They got to sort the bond market. All right. Yeah, and when all the people wake up and see inflation coming, the stock market already in real estate, they're going to run to gold and silver. We just talked about that, just like China right now. Let's go. We're going to go see what Kitco has to say. But really what we're talking about happening in the United States and in the silver and gold market, what it all boils down to, and this has not happened. When this happens, this is when silver and gold will have their real day. Okay, because they haven't had their real day yet. Some people, I think I told you the story. I was in Walmart buying potatoes, and the guy in the produce section, and he was like, "Oh, I just got into silver." When I was chatting with him, it's starting to happen, but when the light bulb moment occurs, okay, for the masses, that's when you want to make sure you've already got your silver and gold, because that's when you won't be able to get it any longer. If it happens, look, I could be wrong. Maybe there will never be a light bulb moment, but let's go see what Kitco has to say about what we went through yesterday. And did we do this already? Nope. Here we go. Nope. Close. Okay. Here's Kitco. I'm sorry. We're going to go to that in a little bit. What we're going to do right now, I'm just going to read you. This is what Kitco said yesterday. The presidential race was not as close as expected, and the process won't be in dispute. So far, no civil unrest has occurred because of the election results. That is prompting the unwinding of safe haven long gold, and you could say silver, trades. A stronger greenback and a higher treasury yields today are also bad for gold. This was yesterday, right? Revisiting how stupid that was, what happened yesterday, in my opinion. This is from Barron's headline, quote, Trump's win could stoke inflation, okay? Turning the Fed more hawkish, wrong. Okay. The story said Trump's promised trade tariffs, quote, may lift inflation and create potential supply or demand shocks. That's true, no doubt about it. But the Fed being able to enact some type of tight monetary policy, not going to happen, guys. Not going to happen. Now, let's go see what Lobo Tigre said. Lobo Tigre, one of the smartest guys in the room, right? Very closely followed analyst. This is what he said yesterday. I'm going to highlight this. Given the promises, I can see why stocks and Bitcoin would soar, referring to Trump's promises that he made during the campaign. But I can't think of what Trump promised that's bad for gold. And I'll throw in silver from my perspective as well. Unless traders are idiotically thinking that higher inflation will send gold lower because the Fed will have to raise rates. If so, a mistake equals an opportunity. That's why I bought some silver miner stock yesterday, guys. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Hey, Jake. Pinback's magic button. Okay. Hey, let's throw Jake up. Jake does a tremendous amount of work for the channel. Thank you, Jake. We got breaking news, guys. We need to go press the Pinback's magic button. They haven't told me to stop calling it that yet. Hold on. Thank you, Jake. Let's see what's going on, boys and girls. And there's Pinbacks. And we're going to acknowledge that. And we will. You ready? Hold your breath. Woo, okay, we're up 52 cents in silver. Gold up $29. All right, man, I got to admit, that feels good. Does that feel good to you? Don't forget too, guys, I've got the $90 silver chart. The ultimate medicine. It's like a cortisone shot or whatever they give you when your back hurts, okay? So Lobo Tigre, Matthew Piepenberg. This is the smart. I think it's with Gold Switzerland. Matt Piepenberg is the best. Okay, he's giving us a big warning. Let's briefly go check out what Piepenburg, I'm sorry, Matthew Piepenburg is saying, he says a recession is already here as U.S. debt crisis makes growth impossible. This is from an interview that he did with Jeremy Safran on Kitco. You can go watch that later if you like. If you've never listened to this guy, okay, there's a couple guys that I really got a ton of respect for. Hold on here. We're all over the place. There we go. That right there is Matt Piepenburg. He's good too. He's a good journalist. Matt Piepenburg, Phil Streibel from Blue Line Futures. He puts out a video every morning. These are the smart guys. Lobo Tigre, right, from Brazil. Not Lobo. Lobo Tigre is a smart guy also. We looked at him earlier. Darn it, I'm forgetting. Tavi Costa, I believe it is, right? So these are the people we want to listen to. They know, they're smart, and they're honest. And he says the U.S. is already in a recession, and a global debt crisis makes economic growth mathematically impossible. Thank you, Matthew. You do have a calculator like I do, according to Matthew Piepenburg, partner at Von Gurez. This is as big of a moment as 1971, when the United States closed the gold window. Piepenburg told Jeremy Safran, anchor at Kitco News, adding that the currency crisis is already here. I mean, look, all politics aside, that's what Trump is inheriting. A currency crisis, a debt crisis, an economy that's not working. Let me explain it to you this way, guys. Well, I'll explain to you in a sec. Traditionally, economic indicators such as unemployment, CPI, and core PCE don't tell the full story, as there's already underlying weakness in the economy. To say that we're not in a hard landing or going towards one is comical. In a world of debt complexity, currency complexity, and precious metal complexity, they're still trying to optimize and come up with ways to get around the hard math. That's what we always say. Mathematics shows no forgiveness on the altar of truth, of being far too over their skis in debt to have real growth, to have a real way of a soft landing. Okay, this is what I want to tell you. Think of this again. This is what Trump is inheriting, right? You don't get mad at me. I got to show you one more time. This is what Trump is inheriting. Okay, we've gone through that ad nauseum, a debt spiral. Okay, now think of it as and what Piepenburg is saying is, we're in a recession. We're heading toward, however you want to say it. It's all smoke and mirror, funny business going on, fantasy island economy, Disneyland accounting, whatever you want to say it. But the easy way for you to understand it is if you just got yourself in too much debt on a personal level, so much debt that the interest payments were eating up 40% of your income, 50% of your income, whatever the number may be, and you didn't have the luxury of being able to print your own money, right? Which you don't. And in the end, the United States can't defy the laws of nature, the laws of mathematics forever, that eventually it constrains growth. You would have a very hard time accumulating any real wealth if you did indeed get to that point. So what do you think happened yesterday? I reached out to Michael, one of the owners at Pimbex, regarding how the retail silver investing community reacted to what happened yesterday. I want to share with you here. He got back to me, very busy man, so I appreciate him getting back to me. Here's his feedback to me yesterday to give us some insight into what the average stacker kind of person was doing yesterday. He said Wednesday, that was the yesterday when we got the election results, was heavier than usual, with the majority of retail sales occurring after the market reached $31. So once silver got to 31 spot, people moved in. That's interesting. Okay. Some of these purchases were from folks who were clearly waiting for the dip. Other buyers were cost averaging down their recent orders. Customers were in high spirits. That's good to hear. And we had a multitude of positive phone calls and interactions throughout the day. And we even met some new basement dwellers. All right, guys, thank you for giving Pimbex a shot. Thanks for checking in. So what he's telling us is people were in good spirits. But I think probably the biggest takeaway from that insight from Michael, one of the owners at Pimbex, is the fact that once the price of silver hit $31, the buyers moved in. Let's go out and take a quick look at the silver chart and see why that could be very, very important. And I need to put you on the right screen, which we are. Okay. All right. Gold futures market up $22. Here's silver. Wow. Silver having a good day. We'll take it. All right. Here's silver. $31.82 in the futures market. But let's go to full screen and let's see kind of what happened yesterday and when these people moved in. That's a 5-day chart. Let's go to a 1-month chart. So this is futures. But basically, well, that's what he's saying, right? These prices are going to be a little bit higher than spot, but still, this is when people moved in. Let's look at a 6-month chart and see if we can see it on there. I'm going to draw a line here a little bit, okay, about right here. No, that's wrong. Hold on. Me and my lines. There we go. Okay, so there we are. There we are. I'm getting angry. You're going to watch me melt down here soon in the live stream. One more try. I want a straight line. There we go. Okay, so that's when the buyers moved in, around that 31.50, probably in the futures market, 31.25 range. Guys, we didn't drop all that far below what I would say is this critical. Let's draw another red line on here. Okay, that's the like 32.50 range. Okay, if we can get back up above that, especially on a weekly basis, what is today? Wednesday? We could still be in very, very good shape in the silver market. And let's go out to 2 years here. Take a look at the silver chart on a 2-year basis. I mean, I don't know. I would think that, I don't know. Let me draw that. Let me draw one line. I promise no more crayons after this. Let's go, I mean, I would say that we're still in a very solid upward trend in the silver market. Now, what you want to hear about is $90 silver. Are we ready? I mean, I know it feels hard to believe, but I thought this very simple chart and very simple tweet from one of my favorite analysts was telling in terms of what we could expect. This came from our friend Dow Gold Equals 1. And let's just highlight here what he said. He said silver could absolutely make this move to $90 by next year, $90 per ounce. Okay, down nearly 5% today. That was yesterday. The bull, this is what's critical to understand. The bull wants as few people along for the ride as possible. And guys, why? And then we're going to look at this chart, but I need to look you in the eye. We talked about silver is a volatile metal. Absolutely. We'll shoot up, we'll shoot down. No doubt about it. We got to be prepared for volatility. The bull market, right? An upward market. It's not going to go straight up. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to draw this. This is the silver price going up and up and up. But notice it goes up, it goes down. It goes up more, it goes down. As long as we're getting higher highs. And what that is in silver, as it does this, it's the bull market throwing off the weaklings. It's the bull market saying, get out of here. You don't want to go for the ride, right? You don't have the belief or the conviction. You're done. Get out of here. Now, let's look at the chart that he has for us. Because to me, this makes sense. And he has this big downward channel, right? From 2011. This is the weekly close. It says that up here somewhere. 1 week. Okay. In the silver price. And you see this big, long downward channel that we broke out of. And, we didn't get down. This is what, about $31 range. So what he's saying is we should go out, big move, pull back, big move up to $90 during 2025. In the comments on this guy's post, are that he has been very, very accurate as of late. So we'll see how that pulls out. I can see it. Can you see it? You know what? Do me a favor. If you think we could get $90 silver, I'm going to do it. I think we can. I believe, right? I know people say, oh, you're a pumper. You're, blah, blah, blah. They told me I was a pumper on gold when gold was 1,800 and I thought that it could get to 25, 20. Okay, they're going to call you all kinds of names. That's fine. But if you believe that we could get 90 next year, type it in there. If you think something lower or higher, type it in there. Let's see what we all think, huh? Right? We're in this together. I don't have my normal setup, so I apologize for the slight delays. We did have, that was the other thing, right? We did have a massive, almost record level. Some people I've seen say record level short position at the COMEX on silver and gold too, I believe. So that move yesterday, right, was gave these shorts an opportunity to cover their shorts. Guys, we could be onward and upward from here. What does Peter Schiff have to say? Let's go see what Peter Schiff says about what happened yesterday. There it is. Okay. Peter Schiff says the best Trump trade now is buying the dip in gold, and I'll say maybe silver too, Peter, and gold and silver mining stocks. Cutting taxes is easy. We know from experience that substantive spending cuts are impossible. Right? So they're not going to cut spending and they're going to cut taxes, right? Think about this, guys. Even Reagan couldn't do it despite making greater promises to do so. Reagan couldn't do it. Trump's not going to be able to do it. Or he will cut taxes, but he won't cut spending, okay? Trump will make inflation great again, right? We are in for inflation, guys. It is going to be a new, absolute new environment for silver and gold, a new paradigm, a new world, however you want to say it. This temporary, I think we had a 1 or 2 day, or maybe a couple weeks here where people are still stuck in their old fashioned way of thinking like, well, inflation's bad for gold and silver. No, inflation has never been bad for gold and silver. Never. Over thousands of years, it's the primary function of gold and silver to protect people against inflation, currency debasement, unicorn fart dust, fiat, paper money, however you want to say it. And that's not going to change. It is just absolutely not going to change. What did Grady have to say about yesterday, right? Silver down almost 5%, but SILJ is the ETF. What he's saying is the junior silver mining stocks were only down 2%. What? What's going on? Seeing the same thing all over again equals greater underlying bullishness. The FOMC rate cut decision is tomorrow, which is now today. Okay. So it's a lot going on, a lot of movement. At the end of the day, guys, this movement down in the gold and silver price was just some risk-off behavior, right? The domestic post-election fear gone domestically here in the United States. Trump is going to suddenly be able to usher in a new era of world peace. That idea, okay, that's now been priced in to gold and silver. And this wrong with a capital R or W, however you want to spell it, wrong idea that high inflation, which absolutely, that's not wrong. The inflation, baby, get ready for $8 a gallon milk. If it's $4 where you live now, get ready to pay $8. I'm telling you, right? Kiss having steaks goodbye. We're going to be eating hamburgers. I can teach you how to make the world's best hamburger. Nonetheless, inflation is coming with the wrong idea that high inflation is going to mean that the Fed is going to be able to put in tight money. No, not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay? Not going to happen. Let the dust settle. Jake from Jake's Custom Parts said that yesterday. And as the dust settles, right, we're going to see what plays out. I need to say thank you to the moderators. Thank you for being here today. Jake, Annie, Big Tim, the Silvershire. And I want to say thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold. Don't forget, guys, they filed for their environmental related permit and one of their big projects. a great company with 2 multi-million ounce development stage projects in Canada. Thank you, First Mining, for the sponsorship. Fortuna Mining reported record profits for the third quarter. They just put that out last night. I'll be talking with Jorge Ganoza, the CEO, later today. Thank you, Fortuna Mining, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. And DirtyMan SAFE. I'm telling you, guys, here, let's take a look. There's the Dirty Man right there, the DirtyMan SAFE. If you're looking for a good Christmas present for somebody who likes to stack silver, gold as valuables, this gives you the cool opportunity to do what the pirates did, right? The pirates buried their treasure in the ground, and that's what the DirtyMan SAFE allows you to do. You can learn more about it at dirtymansafe.com, and you can get 10% off with discount code RON10. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Could be bad, could be good, but we'll go check one more time. Press the Pimbex magic button, and okay, baby. Up $32 on gold, 57 cents on silver. Not bad. Gosh, after yesterday, you deserve it. I deserve it. Have a great day. Okay, thank you. Right? You're important. Let's be nice to ourselves, nice to other people today, and I will see you soon. Thank you.